McKay, your amazing host with 3D Politics. David's always amazed when I say amazing. He doesn't know.
Austere.
Has no idea what I'm talking about when I say I'm amazing. Just clicking noises is all he hears. David Van, David Oldham. Yes, sir.
Sorry, we have to. Rick Hubbard's been watching, and he says,
Thank you, Rick.
Says Broken Arrow changed the charges. I have not been charged.
All right, point for Dan Broso, -1 for David Van.
I stand corrected, Rick. It was great talking to you this morning.
Actually, notice how the government gets it both ways. He was charged until we just found out he's not charged.
Schrodinger's
So
crime.
it's like, again, he existed in two existential realms.
Two quantum states, legal.
Two quantum
All right,
states.
you taking us out?
We're going to get out. We got one more story, but to tie us back in, Tom McKay here, 3D Politics, David Van, Soonerpolitics.org, David Oldham, constitutionalgrounds.com, and of course, David D'Ambroso at Dave D'Ambroso on Facebook. Now, I want my penny back. Tulsa.
Yeah!
Tulsa.
Doggone it.
This is some more information. I got some
You're going to
questions.
get me
about
started.
this.
Get ready for
Triggering
some
me
Pete
here, Tom.
Cloud yelling.
So it's only a penny when they want us to vote it to them, but it's $1 billion when they get it. So they're going to ask for another $1 billion.
Well, 2/3 of a billion.
2/3 of $1 billion.
More
And
investment.
they got a bond election coming up.
Yeah.
On November 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they continue to pretend that these pennies are temporary, and then they continue to extend them by claiming that your taxes are not going up.
Which is a lie.
Even though during the 2025, the Vision 2025, they told us that it wasn't going up, but in the verbiage it literally said, increase the taxes.
Now,
To these
let me
bureaucrats.
clarify why I see why that's a lie. Your tax rate may not change, but your taxes are going up by 2/3 of a billion.
They have, the guy who ran Dewey's campaign in 26 explained to me, they have to raise it by a percentage to make it go back to zero, otherwise your tax would drop.
Right.
That's why they can claim
Correct.
it stays the same, is because they
That's-
increase it back to zero.
Okay.
Hence my use of the word
Right.
increase taxes.
Right, what I'm
They
saying
had to
is,
increase the
and
taxes.
I listened to Bynum say that on TV today, and the point is, he should have said your tax rate will not go up. The point
They
is,
have to increase the tax back to what is current now
Rate.
to make sure your rate
Right.
doesn't
The
go
rate.
any different.
Right.
Where people should be able to click
Right.
the button on their phone, I want a lower rate.
Right, but our taxes will go up by 2/3 of $1 billion, and we have the list.
Go there. This is
And
on
here's
this is
the
from
problem,
Improve Our Tulsa. You can find it on the website.
Here's the
Improve Our
problem. Did you know those taxes are illegal?
Tulsa. Yeah.
You don't say.
They're unconstitutional.
They're unconstitutional because you can't force people to make investments, to give to charity and so forth via taxation. You can't do it. It
What?
violates 7 amendments. 7.
What if it's really good and you really feel like it should happen?
Then we just toss the Bill of Rights because 7 of those amendments you just doze them under
There you
by
go.
doing so.
You don't have any rights because it feels.
And remember, it's all because it's a democracy and we get to vote
Okay.
on everything.
Okay, now I'm going to turn the table on you, Oldham. What is a constitutional tax, then? Give me examples.
Something that's created that actually protects your rights.
Okay.
Because so in other words, if I need protection, policing or police force,
Okay.
whatever, to protect what it is it's a voluntary, because it's a lot less costly to pay for prevention and through a
Right.
policing force or a military
Okay.
force or something like that, than to take an attack all on myself. Because
Okay.
without law and order, then chaos
Okay,
reigns.
but the duct tape arena down there, the BOK, is that a constitutional use of tax dollars?
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
So would the Neenhouse, or however you say,
Neenway's Park?
yeah, Neenway's, what do you see? That park, that was part of the county taxes paid for that.
Correct.
And is that constitutional?
No, actually, it's
Okay.
not.
Okay.
All right.
But
well,
What
you
about
got
the
declaration.
Tulsa Zoo and the nonprofit management partner?
No.
Okay. But
Those are all charitable
Okay, but
things
they're
that we can
partners.
do.
Okay.
That we can give to, but it has to be voluntary.
Okay.
It can't be coerced.
quick yes or
Via
no.
taxes.
Fire department.
Yes.
Okay. The county courthouse.
Although the fire department could be argued.
Okay.
County courthouse. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So then
That's part of
the
their
sheriff's office. So anything where it stipulates constitutionally that this is a function of government, then the funding of it is generally allowed as long as the taxation is done constitutionally.
Well, it's the spending that drives the taxation. Then the taxation, yes, also must be done constitutionally. In other words, it has to be
Okay.
uniform. You can't apply it to sin taxes and fees for criminals or supposed criminals who aren't criminals.
Yeah, here's
things like that.
Here's the tough
Yep.
one. Our state constitution says that the state of Oklahoma shall provide a common education.
Oh,
Then-
absolutely no.
Nope. Okay. So that's unconstitutional, even though it's in the constitution of the state.
It's in the state constitution, but the state constitution is subordinate to the U.S. Constitution, and it violates those 7 amendments: 1st, 4th, 5th, 9th, 14th, and the 13th. It turns you into a tax slave, folks.
Okay.
You are a slave, and
I'm
slavery
gonna
was
agree
abolished
for
by
the
the
block.
13th.
Okay.
I do want to close with something. Going back just a little bit that I really want to say. I think it's important. Going back to Lowe and the law.
Jason
enforcement.
Lowe.
Yes, the alleged attorney, and he claims that weapons, the category of weapons, that is multiple categories, not
Right.
just one.
Yep.
And my understanding is he's declined to say exactly how it's log rolling, to explain it
Sure.
initially. And I actually had a run with the president of Young Democrats that I actually went to high school with. He lives in Oklahoma City, and he got chided by so many other Democrats because of how disrespectful he was being when many people, even Democrats, myself included, not a Democrat, but I was asking what Democrats were asking, which was, how is this log rolling?
Right.
He just said it's log rolling. And, he just these petty, childish, infantile things such as, well, if you're too dumb to know already, you're too dumb to understand if I explain it to you.
Well, because anytime, remember, a paragraph in a sentence has a subject, right?
Yeah.
Right? And 2 sentences, now you got 2 subjects. So now you have multiple subject piece of legislation. It all depends on, how stupid you want to be on it. And now you got multiple paragraphs. But they were all talking about our rights to keep and bear our arms.
Right.
Right? Okay, so that's the subject. Now, they stipulated what is included, what isn't, and what is. And then they even talk about what places that applies to, what places it doesn't apply to. But again, it's all about your First Amendment rights, one subject. Bingo.
I shouldn't have got lost in preparing because you guys are way back to the other stories because I'm
We are.
not done.
That was my fault.
That's him.
I am not done.
He's had too much coffee tonight.
Let's just, because for the
Actually, no,
I
it's
may
not.
switch the whole way we do this because the local stuff always gets too far deep.
Crack the
Folks,
whip.
they are asking now to vote on this when?
2 weeks from tomorrow.
November 12th. They want more money for streets and stuff, right?
Right.
Remember in just 2016, Vision 2025, there were 3 propositions, right? Okay. For Proposition 3, we're already paying $200 per household more just from 2016. Just 3 years ago, now we're paying $200 per household. That's just for Proposition 3. Proposition 2 has a street maintenance that we voted on for $45 million and transportation operation and capital $57 million. We just 3 years ago passed this Vision 2025 thing for $102 million for street maintenance.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they need more street maintenance now. What are we worried about? Because Proposition 1 hasn't even started yet. Your Proposition 1 is going to raise taxes by 62.5%. And there's no phase in, it just starts 7/1/2021. So they want your money now because they got your money later, and you haven't even started paying for Proposition 1 yet.
Well, here's why. Because
But they're not raising your taxes, right,
it's
Pope?
because the tax is about to sunset, and the last thing they want you to do is get comfy with having a tax break.
Yeah.
Because if you have that tax break, it's going to be harder for them to get that money back. It's easier just to maintain than to have you settle into, an 8% tax rate again and have to bring you back
To these bureaucrats in the establishment, there is no such thing as a temporary tax or a permanent right.
Okay, I'm going to tie in the gun thing with the tax thing. Here's what they have in common. The reason why they want this stay on the gun permitless carry now is because they don't want people to start enjoying that liberty. Because once they get that liberty, they won't want to give it up. And the same is true once you sunset that tax. People are going to say, no, I kind of like having 7.5% sales tax.
And I'll touch on that briefly too. Again, if this guy is breaking law, if he is being criminal, I think we should investigate it. And I think it needs to move beyond talk, where citizens start legally, lawfully.
This guy?
Jason Lowe, the alleged attorney.
Okay.
Yes.
If he is violating the Constitution of the United States, or anybody, any judge, we should indict them. We should grand jury them. We should look into other means of legally addressing their crimes.
There is a law. It's called barristry. Barristry is the just stupid lawsuits that have no merit. It is a misdemeanor. And so I just want to let you know, you'll find that in my blog called "It's Still the Lie in Oklahoma" .blogspot.com.
Well, that might be a valuable law.
There are. But has it ever, just like, adultery is against the law. Imputing a woman's chastity is against the law.
It's
there are
illegal.
lots of
There you go. Be careful, Tom.
I'm changing my password right now.
The whole slut shaming thing would get you in trouble
But
there.
here's what I want to say. This is just a little bit of history. Tulsa became a rather fiscally conservative town. In the 90s, there was a bond issue. And I remember, gosh, am I going to vote for this? They included Peoria, which is the nearest arterial street to where I live. And I looked at it, because they include repaving Peoria. And I'm driving down it, and I'm like, this road's just fine. This pavement's fine. It needs to be widened to 4-lane down here south of 61st Street, but nonetheless. So I voted no. You know what? The city voted that down, and for the next several bond issues, the city of Tulsa would not vote for them. So you know what happened is they went to the county, and they said, hey, county, let's have you do this tax increases, and we're going to try to do that. And we will give special gifts to all these bedroom communities, like Nine House Park was part of that.
Right.
The Vision 2025, right? And so for a while they thought, okay, this is the ticket. Now we're going to make these county bond issues, and then the county will hang on to money and divvy it back to the cities. And then they tried that with Vision 2. And you know what? We got wise. We said, no, we don't need the county holding on to our purse. So that didn't happen. So what are they doing? They're going back to the city now. And what's going to happen here? Tulsa's not as conservative of a city as it was 30 years ago.
Right.
So I'm concerned about this. This is more likely to pass than not in my political perspective.
Oh, yeah. I expect it to pass. I expect very few people to actually show up to vote.
I think the big answer to affecting this change in demographics and the growing leftism is just to shift the Overton window. And more people need to start talking about the ideology of leftism is the ideology of crime. Anyone espousing it is espousing criminal activity. And don't forget, we need to say this as a mantra, because it's true. Look at the stats. The vast majority of convicted felons and the vast majority of violent criminals are Democrats. They're people that have voted Democrat. They're people that support Democrat ideology. They are the criminals. So why in the world do we give them an equal seat at the table to shame us and bully us?
Well, here's the thing. The drug pushers don't pay the taxes anyway. They're black market, right? So, yeah, they'll vote for these things. Ain't going to come out of their wallet. You know, that's the thing. They're old ladies on food stamps.
I'm not even addressing them, but fair enough. I mean, yes, the majority of them are Democrats. So I'm talking about violent criminals and felons.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, that's in that group.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that, remember, drug pushers are we have those both licensed and not. We have those both licensed and not.
Well,
But they all want the status quo. They want things. They want democracy to reign
I've
and
heard
the
that
mob rule to
From a
go.
lot of drug pushers, they love the black market. They don't ever
yeah.
want
Yes.
it to go away.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
The thing is, the best disinfectant is the light of day.
yes.
And what we have to do is get all of this stuff out into the light. And remember, we are a republic. We are not a democracy. This is a democratic vote and think about it. The people who don't want it shouldn't have to pay it, but they're going to be forced.
Yes.
And that is actually your neighbors causing an act of war against everybody who doesn't want to participate.
True or false to you, Oldham, real quick. In our country, in a democracy, which we're not, but in our country, is there any means by which we can democratically take away the rights of an individual? Can the mob ever democratically, through vote, through the ballot box, take away the rights of an individual?
No. I mean,
I'm just joking.
the question for the audience is: are rights unalienable or not?
To the establishment, our betters on both sides. I'm going to say this and say this. There is no right that is permanent, and there is no tax or imposition that is temporary.
But what I'll say is, it must be what's called due process of law by which anyone gets their rights taken
Not
away.
the ballot box.
Now, what is due process of law? That's open for debate. Is that merely the courtroom, or is there other things, extrajudicial? I would say no, it's going to have to be courtroom, or you're going to have to do a lot of convincing.
Well, it's in the context of the Fifth Amendment, and that's all talking about the courtroom.
Right.
So the entire point is that it has to be due process of law. You can't have your liberty taken away from you. They can't vote it away from you.
Mhm.
They do now fill our prisons with political prisoners.
Yes.
And again, this is them punishing people. These people's rights are still intact. They're serving their prison sentences with their rights. They still possess their rights, but people have committed acts of violence against them, like criminals, and are put them in those positions. They will come out, and the question is, will they have the mental capacity to realize that they still have their rights and they can exercise them?
So I want to get us out of here and tie us back into the local. I got a story to give you an idea of how these concepts of paying for the zoo and nonprofits work. So here's a story from the Tulsa Squeaky Voice, May of 2016, by Ray Piercy. Animal Kingdom, the Tulsa Zoo prepares for a makeover. Wow. Why would they have a makeover in 2016? Because the 2025 passed. So Lindsay Anderson is interviewed. The Tulsa Zoo and its nonprofit management partner, the Tulsa Zoo Management, Inc. So somehow the zoo, we co-own it by paying, but then there's this management partner that's non-profit. Now, somebody do the numbers for me. This says that they draw well over 600,000 visitors a year.
Mhm.
What's the ticket sales? Because I don't know why I'm funding them if they're selling 600,000 tickets a year. They recently got a go-ahead for a $25 million zoo improvement package, another augment to the $40 million plus. She and her team have secured donors in Green Country and the Snow Leopard Trust. And then they were going along with all that. Then we passed Vision 2025, and lo and behold, she says, this Lindsay Henderson with the Tulsa Zoo, so when we put together the new arrangements, we finally got the resources, and we realized we need to rebuild all our exhibitions. So they were going just fine, and they're selling 600,000 tickets a year, but with the extra penny, they decided, you know what, let's let's revamp the whole zoo now.
Well, the 2016, that's about the same time that the train engineer on the kiddie train goes around, got busted for child pornography, so it could be part of an image makeover.
I'll be filming for you. Hey, that is all the time we got. Anything else, gentlemen?
No.
I think we're out of here for another exciting edition of 3D Politics. I'm Tom McKay. Catch me at Tom E. McKay at Twitter. David Van with SoonerPolitics.org. David Oldham, ConstitutionalGrounds.com. And, of course, David D'Ambroso. Dave at D'Ambroso on Facebook. We'll see you again next week, 7 o'clock. Here on 3D Politics.
Be polite. Everybody's packing.